Gotta wait on Alderman Russell to get here. We are good to go now. Are we live? Close? All right, we'll call the Board of Aldermen work session to order. First item on the agenda is discussion of electric fence for industrial zone property. Jack? So yeah, it would be. Yeah, see right there. So that's a 6, and then. That says 8. So like, it's 8 there, it's 8 there. Might as well make that 8.
Okay, yep, now it's definitely working. I've attached to the packet a memo on electric fences. What ours says, what appears to be how ours came about, and then research of all the cities in the Northland. Ultimately, this was presented by a local business owner that was interested in having the change brought forth to the council, the board then kicked it to the planning commission to have them, because we were discussing the fence ordinance. The planning commission thought, based upon the ordinance, that it ought to be a board decision because it's more safety related than it is zoning related. So here we are. You have questions,
I got a question. I come from a business last month that
Happy retirement, Marv.
there we go. That we actually looked into an electric fence. And because we didn't know about electric fences, but everybody else around our neighborhood who are no longer getting broke into have these electric fences. Now, they're not Russian or a third world country where you get shocked and you die and all that stuff. You'll know they're there, but they're also placed on the inside of a chain link fence to where an animal or people just don't come up and touch them. And it has been very, very helpful in the Kansas City area for companies that leave their cars, mainly catalytic converters and break-ins and stuff. And not residential, but I can see it for somebody that has vehicles, cars, or a pattern of break-ins into their business that already have chain link fences.
and Kansas City, in the memo, I identified the specific specifications Kansas City put in theirs as well for your information.
Thank you, Jack. One of the things that I noticed too, that Independence isn't in there, and Independence, Hooker Towing in Independence does have electric fence, as well as the auto auction in Kansas City, and doing some research on the electric fence. It's amps to kill. At least the way I read this, it makes it sound like you're going to touch an electric fence and kill over. That's not the case. It's amps that kills, not voltage. And it's also alternating current. So it gives you an opportunity to let go, let go, let go. It's pulsing. If it was continuous, then you'd lock up. Your muscles would lock up. My position on this is I think that we need electric fences to allow it inside, just like Alderman Atkins said, inside a fence, as they do have in Kansas City and Independence. And the way that I read this, is that it says there's no mention of electrical fences allowed in Platte City, Liberty, the list goes on, but there's no mention of it not allowed either.
Right. The way they regulate it is, these are the allowed materials. Here's what you can build it out of.
Right. And the material list that I saw also, it approves, several wood, chain link, et cetera. And then also, and my verbiage is going to be wrong, somewhere along the line of approved materials, and fencing, electrical fencing is approved fencing material. So I'm not sure how they work around that, or if they've had that come up in the past yet or not. But I just wanted to bring that up, that the protection of catalytic converters and stuff, and losing that much money that this individual we talked about that brought this to, and possibly losing him out of the community, to allow a stipulation, and also with I would say with the conditional use permit and some parameters set around that, so that we make sure that it is monitored, like the one in Kansas City is. That's my thoughts. I don't know. Just reading it sounds like, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Reading it sounds like you're going to touch it and away we go, and that's not the case.
Yeah, I kind of, I feel like just looking at what the Kansas City's ordinance was, I feel like that's kind of reasonable. And I don't know if there's any other suggestions that you can think of to add to that, but I mean, I feel it's pretty reasonable and that type of heavy industrial or commercial, if you can keep it like that. With the, away from residences, schools, things like that.
What is that zone, Jack? Do you know, what is his property zoned?
I1.
Industrial.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack, I agree as well. I think that, for sure industrial. I also don't think it's a bad idea of what Alderman Russell talked about in conditional use permits, but I just don't know if that falls within the zoning. We'd have to rely on you with that, but I think industrial for sure. Agriculture, I guess the only reason I could see something like that would be a tractor dealer or somebody, but even then, they have security systems, so that's just my feedback. That is, I believe we should allow it for industrial at a minimum.
One of the questions that and it's live. Would ask is what is their current fence height? Do we know?
Yeah, exceed 8, so
I
yeah, that's pretty. I think it's right at 8.
haven't paid much attention. All that
Right.
stuff's been there for. It was
You
there
can't
for-
exceed 8 in our ordinance for chain link and industrial or anything like that.
It's an 8 foot, I
I think
believe,
it's 8 foot with a
8 foot,
little
and then you can
line.
have barbed wire above
Yeah.
that. As long as the barbed wire doesn't cross over the property.
Yeah.
You can have it lean in or lean out.
Yeah.
But if you're on the property line, it has to lean in, so you can set it back and lean it out.
And I would be okay also with this being for industrial areas. Non-residential and making sure that the general public, law-abiding public isn't going to be grabbed by it in any sort of way. So inside the fence, something like that.
Anyone else? Jack, do you have what you need?
I can draft, it sounds like we want to do one using basically the Kansas City ordinance
Sounds like it.
specifications.
Kind of what it looks like.
Okay, I could draft something up like that for you.
We don't want to become Kansas City, but we'll use them as an example on this one.
That's all I needed.
Gives Gina plenty of time. You're up next. Any next wayfinding signage guidelines?
Yes, good evening. Today I have Alyssa Sanders, Main Street Executive Director with me today. And she's gonna give some background on the start of the project.
Hello. So last May, Anna and Cynthia came to me with kind of a plan for the Clay County grant leftover ARPA funds. And we decided that we were going to write it, and we couldn't quite figure out what we wanted to do, and then realized we wanted to do something with wayfinding, signage, things like that, because we don't have a lot in town. Thought about making a singular sign and then realized we needed a plan for that. And so we wrote it to get a wayfinding and design guideline. We were awarded that to the city, gave money, $10,000 match. And then we were awarded the grant on July 28th. And then we put out an RFQ to find the company. There were 6 applicants, I believe. And the committee to pick the organization was KMA out of Pennsylvania. Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania. And so we've been working with them. Their budget was a little higher than we anticipated, but we were able to kind of move it down into our range. We've been working with them since, I think it would have been August, probably. Bi-weekly meetings to kind of get this figured out. So in that process, we enacted a committee. Dan and Marv were on that committee. So thank you guys very much. We also had members of the community, Mayor Boley. We also had Gina, and then Matt Denton, Myra Toothman, Alex Porter, Erica Winston, Susan Whitaker, Robert Hedgeworth. So we've had lots of input from different people around the community. Yeah, so now it's Gina.
All right, like Alyssa said, we've been having bi-weekly meetings, and in this, we have been working hard to get things accomplished and get this moving with our deadline of, we're hoping for around March or April to have it all finalized, with our grant. We do have to have it done by August, so we're trying to stick with that time schedule. So in the packet, you were given a destination list. So the committee worked together to slot destinations into primary, secondary, or tertiary destinations. And at this time, we recommend not including any private businesses, just because if you include one, then that opens the door for more private businesses to want signage. But that doesn't stop future boards to include those kind of signages in the future. And then additionally, in the packet is a location guideline. So basically what happened was we gave KMA Design our destination list. And we were like, this is where we want to draw people. This is where they're coming from. And so that location guideline has traffic signage of an arrow and turn this way for the high school, go this way for City Hall. So that is all mapped out. So in the future, when we go to actually implement this signage, it'll already be there for us as a blueprint. So some items for feedback that we need from you all to move forward is, one, the budget. So this project is just giving us designs and an actual guideline. It's not giving us any physical signage. So in future budget discussions, we might recommend doing a phased approach. And so each fiscal year, you choosing a certain area, and then we would do that signage. And then open to any recommendations that you have for future budget discussions. And then in the downtown area, we have multiple public parking lots. There is the option to name them if we want to, or we can just keep them as general, just public parking lots. And then there's a lot of destinations in the downtown area. We would need feedback from you all about if you would just want to call it downtown, do you want to call it historic downtown? And then after that, we would be able to have more of a definitive signage for the downtown area. Just for like a sense of arrival of if someone's driving by, then they would know that they're in the downtown area. And then the destination list. If you see anything missing, we try to really include every public place that we could think of. And then we would also like feedback on the design options. And those were sent to you. I can go through them real quickly also.
Yeah, so if we, couple of things, so once you get the PowerPoint going.
Yeah. So
Is it
this-
shared? Also,
Yes. So this is the first like gateway sign. This is option one. So it's the black with the grayscale. Oh, go ahead.
before we get going, so as you guys are looking at these too, if there's elements of certain signs you like, note that, because we can combine it to make, because they're wanting feedback to give us a catalog.
Yeah.
Right, so
Mhm.
if you like a piece of option 1 and 2 and 3. Say that, don't just say you don't like the sign, say
So.
you provide what you do like and what you don't like.
Okay, so like, let's say for option one, I like the entrance sign, and for option two, I like not the entrance sign, but the other signs, right?
Even less than that, like on this one, if you hate the bricks, say you don't want bricks on any
Okay.
signs.
Yeah.
In this
If you like
case,
the font, say you like the font, or you like that it's CNC metal, or, the coloring, like. Every element of the sign, pick it apart,
Mhm.
so they can get the feedback to sign company to design this.
Yeah.
They're gonna provide us material list on UV resistance and paints and all those things that we need to use once we get them that. But these all came from, they gave us a list of, I don't know, 20 designs, and we picked those apart. This is the filtered of that. So now you guys can pick elements of each one that you like and combine it into a sign that makes sense. So like on option 2, if you like the actual signage, but don't like the double pole, and we want the single pole or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
To just say that, don't say, go to that detail, because we have the time and they want that kind of information.
And then just a note, so the font on these kind of signs, that
That's-
is
yeah.
federal regulations, so we can't change those kind of fonts, but if it's like a decorative one, then that's
And the arrows we can't change either, because the
No.
arrows are federal too.
Yeah. So just things to keep in mind. So.
But if you don't like the
I will-
little swirly underneath it and you want it to be solid, say that as well, right? So.
Okay, so we have option one, more grayscale with the brick, and we tried to incorporate the downtown streetscape in this design.
And Gina, if I could add in there.
Yep.
The very first option right there, that's a, a wide one. It doesn't have to be wide. It can be straight up and down.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
Yeah, it can be vertical with still having brick and whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
And in this case, when we saw this, I brought it up at first that maybe a brick to match the downtown brick. But that was just a thought. It didn't have to be.
Yeah,
brick.
and we might not have the space if we try to do this like
Right, exactly.
on the, if we do one, this might fit out by the parks office, but it might not fit at the corner of Main 169. So if we do a vertical one there, we might want to do vertical with all, so.
And these would be, this particular sign is the entrance points to the city.
Yeah,
correct?
this would be the entrance gateway signs.
So if there's like, so if you can show all three, like if you like the brick, I hate that. sign. Anyway, go to the next one. If you,
X out that.
keep going.
So this is just the downtown with the two poles, and there is the vertical element in here as well.
But if you go to the one that's the wavy. Go.
The third one.
There, that one. So like that downtown one, if you wanted something like that, but with brick and say Smithville. They can do vertical as well. So. There's a lot of. Options even with these limited. Cutting it down to these 9 slides, there's still a lot of options we could pick to make a sign that works.
Yeah, and then colors, anything.
One of the things I
Weird.
looked at when I first saw it, I thought we had to have all of them combined to match each other for the whole city. And later on, we all kind of realized, or at least I did, I like the heritage district type look for the heritage area,
So she,
but for the whole city.
she
something
did
more
say that
vibrant.
we would need to pick, one sign family. So like if we wanted these secondary signs, the whole city would need to be the same. Just because with the wayfinding, then it signifies that that's what that
Yeah.
is.
Well, I don't like that one, so.
Okay, I agree.
I do like
And
that
then
one.
this
though.
was the main gateway sign.
Yeah, but see, I would like something like this more towards, stuff closer to the lake,
Like
possibly.
if you're coming off W. or
Yeah,
if you're coming
but
off
for
Prince.
downtown, I don't think this would work.
With
But-
That one, with that one there, I think that the background with you, it looks like, it reminds me right off the bat that we're in the mountains. With that background, the sign, I think is all right, but I think the stuff beside it looks like. When I first see it, I think it's a mountain town.
Yeah, but if you did that sign with brick base,
Yeah, that'd be, yeah.
I mean, that style of lettering, the
Would
CNC.
you think
metal.
that with black instead of blue and then
Yeah.
brick base would?
I like that,
would
I
tie
like
it into
that
the
style
other
of
family?
lettering better than what's on the one that's engraved in stone, I just think is played out and.
Yeah.
Originally, when they did this, I thought they were gonna use the granite like we set in out here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That was what I thought they were gonna put granite down below. I didn't know it was gonna be this picture.
I like the granite benches.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we talked about, like the parks have the boulders, so
Yeah.
we were trying to incorporate that a little bit with this one.
Well, on that one there, I think that the sign, where it says Smithville and the bottom of it, it's, I think the word lettering, if we were gonna go with that one, the lettering needs to be black or something. It needs to be something that stands out differently than that. That kind of just, to me, just blends all. The bottom of the letters and that strip look like it blends a little bit.
So can we go up to family one?
I like
So
that.
like if we got rid of the black background on that, are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like
or
having it
or just the
more,
letters.
having it less like not having, just having the letters, not the silhouette.
That seems like it's, to me, it looks like it's missing something.
I mean, if you could take the piece of the top of the sign of option 3 and put it on this instead of that one, it would look. Have a little more texture. I know Matt wants more bushes to take care of, but
They can be plastic.
plastic bushes.
Just pressure wash them once a year. Knock the dust off.
All right.
What's
And
that?
then what-
Is it appropriate? It does. Yeah. Yes, it does.
I think if you combined
They
the,
are in Pitts. Yeah, I think if we
Yeah.
take, if I think
I
we
think the
take.
swooshes, I think
Yeah.
the swooshes on the other
Waves,
one.
call 'em waves. We don't want to get in trouble.
Waves.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
So put an X across, cross out of the top
Yes.
part.
Move this here.
Get the lettering off the one with
Yeah.
with the
I'll do
waves
some
on it.
editing in
And
Canva.
it seems like the waves on the other one. could be-
I can edit on the TV, give me a marker. It won't stick, but
Yeah. And then how do we feel about the
I-
signs?
I like those signs, but I don't like the double poles. It's just more maintenance and it doesn't match the light poles.
I think the other one that we saw.
The bases are better in the other one,
These
like
ones?
those base, but I'm not a big, like that swirl on there. It doesn't match up with what we do with the rest of it. So if you could,
So just without this.
or some other concept, because we got rid of, because we got rid of the circles on the, if we can get it closer to matching the light poles.
That would look good downtown, I think, but not, maybe not
We
over
don't
the
get the
entire
choice.
city. Yeah.
We
We'll
have
get
to pick up.
one or the other.
I think that it's a good.
I mean, even the one that says downtown Smithville kind of matches what they did on the north end and the south end with the black metal. Or it's trying to, but yeah, I do like the family tree better for around the rest of town. And downtown is only a quarter of a square mile compared to the rest. So that's the kind of, do we want? And then also, if we get past this on to Jack too, as a catalog for planning and zoning, do we want future developments to do something like this or something like option 3? They don't have to adhere to it, but at least give them options for consistency. We go to 3 again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the concept of this one better. But I think we can clean it up a little bit. I don't know.
Again with the waves. So
Just go black instead of blue.
I think it's too modern. For downtown especially.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't look like anything I've seen locally, but. Which is one of the big things, that's why we went with KMA was. Try to avoid being local, but.
I mean, if we're gonna
don't
put a-
see a good change to make that. Fit of the motif of downtown.
No.
Yeah.
Well, take that
Fortunately.
feedback to them and tell them to give us some
Mhm.
additional options.
Yeah.
Less Amityville horror, less airporty. What other words does Cynthia use tonight?
Yes, I'm
Just
gonna.
watch the
send you
video.
Link with
Yeah.
the timestamp. And then. What about the downtown area? Is there any idea of what you want to call it? It's just downtown?
I'd say downtown, it's simple.
Okay.
Less letters that we have to paint, right?
Yeah. And then for the parking lots, it's just a general public parking sign, fine.
Yeah, I thought that, that was my
Okay.
opinion. If we had like a whole, if it was a real big city,
Mhm.
you know, we.
Well, we call the one behind the white building, behind the white.
And then we're gonna
building.
name this one
Right.
Old Rock Parking Lot.
Yeah.
Next to the bike shop,
That's
parking lot.
major lumber parking, Old Rock parking, Heritage Park, Heritage
No,
Park West,
it's the funeral home parking lot.
funeral home. No, it's Old Rock. John is only on here a couple more months. He's gonna get something named Old Rock. It's the last thing he does. He's been trying for 5 years, 6 years now.
Yes, public parking. Okay, we'll stick with that.
Sound like a board meeting in here.
Right,
We can always change it later. That's
yes.
fine. It's just
Yeah.
get a cricket, we'll fix it.
And then did you see anything missing off the destination list, or did you want to put anything in a different category, or does that look good to go?
You know, I had 2 questions on
Yeah.
that. The first one is, I saw that it said in the staff report, just a question about it, said that, and you touched on it in the beginning, it said that once, what did it say? It says, once the successful bidder was selected, then we saw that the price was high, and then you guys did a good job with negotiating. The question is, why was it after the bidder was selected that we knew that it was over?
Yeah, so we do an RFQ process, so that's qualifications.
Okay.
So they have to
Okay.
seal the price. We're just looking at it from their presentation and their bid
Got it.
package. Yeah.
Thank you. And the other thing is just for the group here, I have a hard time with approving signs that say water plant into the wastewater treatment facility. I think that those are probably classified or should be classified as high risk maybe. And I don't know if we should have signs for that. That's just my thoughts.
It's standard practice for cities, and our bus got lost taking the kids to the wastewater plant because they didn't know where it was.
Okay,
I had to chase them down because they went to the water plant, because she knew where it was, but she knew the water plant, not wastewater.
okay.
Yeah, and we
So it's
might,
pretty standard practice for cities to have those.
yeah, and there's not gonna be like a ton of signage going down 169 to the wastewater plant.
No,
It's gonna be more of like a
Yeah.
turn here.
Yeah.
situation.
Not a lot of tourists.
Yeah. Mhm.
The wind's blowing out of the north. You're driving from the south. You're gonna find it.
All right. Well, any other questions or feedback?
No, I think the timeline's good. I know we have streetscape getting ready to go out to bid soon. It has some signage requirements, so it'd be nice to have some guidelines when we do that. Because we have to do an informational sign there too, right? At least getting the material list from the from these guys on, because if you look at all the MoDOT signs right now and almost every Clay County sign, they're just melting away from the sun. Coming up 169 that you can't see the exit signs anymore, it seems like. So as long as they're, you know, if they can get us that material list to use it for streetscape, great. As Matt's doing park signage stuff, we've got some sort of guideline. And I know a catalog was mentioned too that we didn't have in budget. Is that something the board wants to look at?
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that Gina has talked about and she and I talked about today is as we move through this process, we'll get this information to review as they develop this information. That will help us in development of the budget then as well.
Cool. Keep it under $1 million.
Easier said than done.
Good job.
Signs are expensive, we're finding out.
All right, well, thank you.
Well, it's 6:28. Any other questions on signs? I know that's one thing that came up a lot to Jack's department, so. we have
We need
some
to
sort
make,
of.
do we need to make any zoning changes for the signs?
Nope, no, we don't need to talk about that right now. All right, all those in favor, or can I get a motion to adjourn the work session, please?
Mayor, I'll
Yes.
make a motion to adjourn work
Thank
session.
you, Marv.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye. All opposed, say no. It's 6:29. You got time to grab McDonald's if you need it.